Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's so nice to see so many of you here this afternoon. Some of you are here because you already believe in the SDP. Some of you are here because you have not decided, come Friday, what your choice will be. To both groups, thank you so much for coming here and giving us your precious lunchtime to listen to what we have got to offer. The past 2 weeks have certainly been one of those once-in-a-lifetime experiences for me. Ever since my name was put forth as a candidate for the coming general elections, I have been inundated by calls and text messages from friends. Some expressing surprise that I joined the SDP. Others congratulating me for making a stand for what I believe in. It has not been an easy decision. You all know by now that I work in a nursing home. You see, working with the elderly is what I've always wanted to do. I wanted to do something to make a difference to the lives of Singaporeans, no matter how small. It saddens me to see the elderly struggle to walk in pain because they could not afford to pay for elective surgery. I can understand why those to take the risk of jaywalking when the pedestrian crossing is probably 20 meters away, because every step hurts. It pains me to see the elderly who becomes homebound because they cannot afford to pay for cataract surgery, or someone who becomes isolated and cannot interact with their families because they cannot afford to buy a hearing aid. In every single one of them, I see my grandparents, my aunties, my uncles, my parents, and one day eventually, it may be me. Why don't the elderly get the medical and surgical care that they so desperately need? Why can't their family pay for their medical bills? Didn't our government promise that nobody will be denied health care if they need it? Will I pay $8 for my father's bypass surgery if he needs it? Many of the time, these elderly have children. Their children are probably like you and me, working hard to make a living, to provide for our parents and our children. And if we work a little bit harder, perhaps we can save enough for our retirement. However, it is getting increasingly difficult with the rising cost of living. We have to service our housing loans, children's education and enrichment classes, overseas trips for our children to broaden their horizon, insurance policies, and healthcare bills. Our parents, in their wise ways, know that there will be a burden on us should they need medical treatment. So they keep quiet about it and soldier on bravely. Our country has progressed immensely the past 50 years. You can see it all around you, especially in this area. However, this progress has come at a cost of a widening income inequality, an unhappy workforce, pressures on SMEs, and a general unhappiness about the presence of foreign labor in Singapore. We know that in this very competitive environment, we can lose our jobs very easily and without warning. Companies can downsize or move out of Singapore completely, leaving us without jobs. Or we can be replaced by others who are willing to do the same jobs at much lower costs. What do we do when that dreadful day happens? If you are a PMET in your 40s, what are your chances of getting a similar job at the same pay? It is increasingly unlikely. Even if you are willing to be underemployed, many companies may not want to hire you. It is a scenario that we wish will never happen to us, but the reality is it can, and one day it may. What then do you do while you search for another job? Besides the minimum wage recommendation for lower-income workers, the SDP economic policy introduces a retrenchment insurance to help Singaporeans and their families tide over the unexpected layoffs. It is called the Re-employment and Temporary Assistance for the Retrenched Scheme. The scheme will provide financial assistance for up to 18 months while the individual look for re-employment. Safeguards will be put in place to prevent abuse. We believe that, given a choice, we all want to be gainfully employed, don't we? Like any other insurance scheme, it will be co-funded by the employer, the individual worker, and the government. This is one of the measures, amongst others, that the SDP proposed as a new economic vision for Singapore. It should not be looked at in isolation, but in conjunction with the other measures, such as abolishing the CPF minimum sum, increase social spending, encourage entrepreneurship, and remaking the GIC Temasek model. We do not claim that our policy is the best, unlike some people, but we are providing an alternative policy for you to view and make your comments. While we strive to maintain our position as a global player, let's not forget those who have fallen behind in this fast-paced environment. More details about SDP's economic plans and other policies can be found on our website. During my walkabouts, many individuals expressed that they do not believe that their vote is secret. The current government has created much fear in us. It is highly unfortunate that in the year 2015, there persists an overall climate of fear. Today, people still fear voting for the opposition will compromise their career, their next HDB flat application, or their children's scholarship. Let me clarify this misconception. Whether you vote for the PAP or for SDP or any other political parties, no one besides you will know. I know many of you are worried about the serial number on the ballot paper. The number is not there for the purpose of identifying who voted for them. It is there to prevent fraud. With the serial numbers, ballot papers cannot be counterfeited. It also allows the Elections Department to check that the number of paper found in the ballot box at the end of the election is the same as the number of papers issued during the poll. This helps to prevent the possibility of ballot boxes being stuffed with false ballot papers. For all its inadequacies, we should have some faith in the Elections Department. After the election results have been announced by the returning officer, ballot papers and other official documents used in the elections are placed in separate boxes and sealed. Candidates and their counting agents who are present will observe this process. They may also place their own seals on these boxes. These boxes will then be moved by police escort and retained in safe custody for 6 months at the Supreme Court. During those 6 months, these documents can only be retrieved by court order. Our courts have issued no such order to date, and after 6 months, the ballot papers will be removed from the vault and burned. So your vote is secret. Vote to make your views heard. I did not join the SDP because I am anti-PAP. Neither did I ask, what can I gain from this? I joined the SDP because of the values that it espouses. I'm sure many of you here believe that we can foster a vibrant and dynamic society based on pluralism and diversity, that we can establish an economic system based on free market and equal opportunities, that we should remove practices that discriminate against the less fortunate, women, and minorities. We ask that you give us the opportunity to be your voice in Parliament so that we can speak up on issues that are important to you. We care about your future. After all, this is our home too. We want this place that we call home to progress to SG100 as well. Vote SDP for better future because we care about everyone here. Thank you.